Okay, sorry at the last video, for whatever reason, my iPad stopped recording. So, don't know where it stopped recording. So I'm just gonna start over. So the hyperbola formula, x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. This is when your hyperbola is opening left and right. The transverse axis is the axis that is connecting. It's that distance that's connecting the two vertices. They tell us in this particular question that the transverse axis is 12 units long. So that blue line right there is 12 units. This thing is centered at 0, 0. And then they tell me that by saying it's at the origin. So that tells me that if that is 0, 0, then if I move, because it's symmetric, the hyperbola is symmetric. If I move, if the transverse axis is 12, I've got to move 6 units that direction to get to that vertex. So it tells me that vertex is 6, 0. They also tell me that I've got a point on my curve of 9, -5. That is all that information is going to lead me to being able to use this formula and the points that are in here, and also this information, which is true about every hyperbola. Remember, C is the location of the focus of the hyperbola. But that information is going to allow me to fill in the gaps here to find out what the actual equation is. So that being said, I know I want to use this version of the hyperbola formula. H and K are 0, 0. Okay, so that's H and K. So I went ahead and just kind of took those out. Put those zeros in here, or it may look like I took H and K out. But I'm going to use that formula. I need to know what A and B are, okay, or A squared and B squared. Well, going off of what they've told us, when they tell us the transverse axis is horizontal, okay, we know that the transverse axis is equal to 2A. That's a constant fact here for hyperbolas. So that being said, A, if 2A is 12, then A is 6. So that point is located at A, 0. So A is 6. So I went ahead and plugged in that 6 here. It's squared. Now, I need to figure out what B is. And I don't like this question really because my B's and my 6's look the same. So that's a 6 squared. This is B, that's Y, and that's X. I don't know those things. But if I look at my parabola and the information they gave me, I do know a particular X and a particular Y. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in that X of 9 right there, and it gives me that 81. I'm going to plug in that Y of -5 right there, and it would give me 25. So now, but I don't know what B is, okay? So this is still B squared down here. I'm going to go ahead and subtract the 81/36 from both sides. So it gives me -25 over B squared is equal to 1 minus 81 over 36. Well, that ends up giving me -45 over 36 when I combine those two things. Now this is a proportion, so I'm just going to cross multiply. And it gives me, so I multiply those two things, multiply those two things. It gives me -45 B squared equals 900. I'm going to divide by -45. Actually, it should give me -900. -25 times 36 give me -900. Divide by -45, and it gives me B squared is equal to 20. I'm not going to go down and solve for B because then I'm going to undo that when I need what B squared is. So now, using this formula here, what was A? Well, A was 6. So 6 squared is 36. B squared, we just found out B squared to be 20. So there's where I get my 20. So there's the formula then that we're looking for that hyperbola.